grandiose sense of self-importance, preoccupation with fantasies of success, power, beauty, brilliance, or ideal love, belief that they are special, requires excessive admiration, interpersonally exploitive behavior, envy of others, or belief others envy them.
More of the narcissistic personalities attracted to the empath.
Because they like the admiration. You're giving them, oh my God, it's so amazing. Oh, you're a lawyer. Oh, you're a doctor. You're a surgeon. Oh yeah, you like that? Oh yeah.
I had some really, really tough seasons with my dad where I felt like my dad was so hypocritical, so toxic. He had a hyperinflated sense of self, ego, showed lack of empathy. I thought I could change him spiritually. I didn't have authority over that. There is a part of me that
Have you ever wondered if some of the most painful relationship patterns in your life didn't actually begin with you? Are ghosting, codependency, emotional unavailability, and even narcissistic tendencies learned behaviors passed down through generations? Or are they simply personal choices? In this thought-provoking conversation, our panel explores the complex connection between family dynamics, attachment, trauma, faith, and emotional healing. We discuss difficult relationships with parents, the search for emotional safety, the impact of narcissistic traits, and why so many people find themselves repeating patterns they swore they never recreate. Together, we examine how childhood experiences shape adult relationships, why boundaries can feel so difficult to establish, and what it takes to break cycles that have existed long before we were even born. Along the way, we unpack the realities of ghosting, codependency, self-worth, and the role of therapy and faith can play in helping us move from survival to healing. So the question is, are ghosting and narcissism really family patterns we inherit, or is there something deeper at work? Let's get into it. This is the Real Roots and Resilience podcast.
I had some really, really tough seasons with my dad where I felt like my dad was so hypocritical, so toxic. But if that man had not been the way he was, I would not be who I am today. I promise you.
Yeah.
If I was not put through the fire, I would not be who I am today. And I know that.
So as a parent, there's no handbook to this.
There's no
I
handbook.
promise you, there's no handbook to it. And we're not always going to get it right.
And that's what I'm saying.
And I think that, good, bad, or otherwise, it serves its purpose, right?
Yeah.
And, going back to Joe Jackson, we may not agree with all of his parenting approaches, but there was something about the way that he handled his children.
The consistency and discipline,
right?
The vision for excellence.
Right.
It was a little obsessive. It was obsessive, but it was to their detriment.
Right. But there's also the things that experiences that they had that they're going to carry with them forever.
But I also think Joe inherited a form of masculinity that was antiquated. He came from an indoctrinated set of Black survival techniques.
He's a boomer.
He was a boomer, but even his father grew up in Amite County, Mississippi in the Jim Crow era. In the way that even I inherited what it meant to be a man from my father. I'm not giving him a pass, but I'm just saying that there are certain doctrine that
I just remember seeing this video because what you're saying, this just popped in my head. Scandal, where Papa Pope and Olivia Pope were having an exchange, and he said to her, as a Black woman, you got to work twice as hard to get half as much.
Yeah,
that's what you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That is what you are talking about.
It's exhausting to think about because I know there's a lot of, we're in a better state. We're from an informed state now. We know better now. But at the time, I think my dad was just doing the best he knew how.
With what he had.
And I cannot blame him because he didn't have the awareness at all, period. I was the kid that wanted to fix him. I thought I could change him spiritually. I didn't have authority over that. And I just think there has been so many, even in and again, to all my people who've been abused by their parents, I'm not saying what they did is right. Okay. I think at the end of the day, we will all be judged. We will all be held accountable. But there is a part of me that realizes that you don't know what you don't know.
Until you do.
Until
so funny,
you do.
my boys my oldest is 34, youngest will be 30. And so interesting because today they'll say, I understand dad now. I get it now. I understand why he did the things that he did or said the things that he said.
And that's why therapy is so important, y'all. So we can enter into a space of awareness. And without that awareness, we're going to continue to approach things in the same way we've been programmed to approach things.
Yeah, but that's what kind of, I get that you don't know what you don't know, but if somebody's saying you are doing this to me, at some point,
the awareness.
for my own liberation, I may not have to. I'm not going to deal with your oppression or your just because you're my mom or dad, I have to deal with your abuse, emotionally.
Yeah.
Or
well, that's the work, though, right? Because but then you didn't have the language and the words to say those things.
But even in that, like, Martine, I'm with you. As a child, I didn't know what my response was going to be. I felt like before I knew that it's because I was really dealing with a narcissist, but before I really knew the type of personality.
Narcissist.
We should break down what that word is, but go ahead.
I felt that the more I responded, the more engaged I was, and he would hear me more, but that wasn't what was going to help.
Narcissists lack empathy.
Right. But I didn't even understand as a child, as someone from a lesser advantage point or a lesser significance.
You don't have the language.
It wasn't. So I'm with how do I say this? Like as a child, it took silence for me to understand where my power was. I had to step back and be quiet.
You had to be silenced?
I had to.
Wow.
I silenced myself.
Wow.
Because I said, wait, what am I doing here that's not getting through to him?
Because we internalize that.
Yeah.
We don't know what you don't have the words, you don't have the language, you don't know. It's like there's some sort of defect with me because why is this person that's supposed to love me, care me, protect me, and take care of me?
The one person I'm supposed to feel safe around, I don't feel safe
afraid,
around.
and so I'm going to be quiet. Right. Because if I say anything, I'm going to get beat. I'm going to get yelled at.
I withdrew completely. I learned to be in a space physically, not be there emotionally.
That Martine is talking about.
As an adult, I think it's different though. You know what you deserve, hopefully. You know, what's acceptable and what's not. But as a child, you don't know any better. You think that's normal, right? But you're like, wait, this doesn't agree with my spirit. Something must be wrong with them.
You're seen, not heard. You can't say nothing. You can't.
Because I was looking at my mom like, why are you still with this man? You know? But me and my dad, we have a great relationship today. And he's changed a lot as a man because he's seen different versions of what manhood could look like through me.
I was going to ask you, what changed? Like, what happened to him in order for him to change?
It was a conversation about not only how his choices affected me, but how his insecurities of who I was becoming as a young man influenced my approach to learning who I was. Because he felt like, oh, I think he's more feminine. I think he's gay. I felt like I had to go and pursue. It wasn't just my dad. It was other people. But it was like that reinforcement, like, oh shit, my dad is saying this. Like, maybe I need to go and see about what this is. But once my dad understood, like, hold on, I can be this, or I can actually be fully aware of who I am as a man. And it doesn't have to necessarily look like the men he grew up with.
Yeah.
That it's also okay. And it also doesn't make me an other.
Right.
And so we're also living in a society where we hopefully embrace uniqueness from other people.
Yeah.
Right.
I had to have a real conversation with him about, the type of relationship I wanted with him. And my dad got into his word for real, and like started to model love in a way that he had never modeled it before.
Do you think that was driven by religion? For him?
I think the routine was thinking like the religion routine was like making him thinking that he was doing everything that he was supposed to do. But like to truly embody love and like represent Christ in a way that was not necessarily trying to pass judgment. I think that was the thing. It's like we grew up in a household where it was like we had to judge or we had to like make a decision about how we felt about a thing immediately. It was no time. It was just like condemnation.
Right.
And that's toxic to me because it's like, you haven't even figured out what this even feels like or what it means to you or how your thoughts are being informed by your own experiences. It's just like a projection.
Right.
And I realized that a lot of it was just how he was indoctrinated. Because I learned about my uncles and the men he had been surrounded by, and that helped me understand him better.
Okay, wait. Well, I'm still stuck at the word narcissist right now. Okay. Has he been clinically diagnosed as narcissist, or are you using that word as he's a narcissist? Why are you using the word narcissist to describe him? Because from what I understand, narcissism is a personality disorder, and you can't really change a narcissist.
Right.
So I don't think
why do you use that word? Because that's another thing. People use that word all the time. I really want to make sure we dissect what that means. Because
let's go all the way there.
Yeah.
Then.
So why would you use that word to describe?
I watched my parents almost get divorced, and his conflict resolution style was very narcissistic. He always had to have the last word. He had a hyperinflated sense of self, ego, showed lack of empathy. That was just how he approached anything that tried to hold him accountable. Was like complete withdrawal from accountability. And then like I said, all the things I just mentioned. And I think to a certain extent it's still there, but it's not intense. But I also want to say this, there's nothing that the power and the blood of God cannot deliver you from. So when you say that, I understand the personality disorder thing, but I also think that there's redemptive power.
So there is hope for narcissists. And this is a living testimony.
I just think that we can be it sounds like a sentence the way that you said it.
I don't want it to be, could it be I guess I want to be clear about the clinical term. Is it sociopath? Are you saying sociopathic traits, or I'm just weird about diagnosing someone. I could say I'm weird about diagnosing someone, especially we're
prematurely. I get what you're saying.
Prematurely. So instead of saying he's a narcissist, I guess per se, just for our my license, I would say he has narcissistic attributes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Tendencies, traits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Traits.
Okay. So just wanted to clear that.
Yeah, we can clear it.
Yeah. But what is clinically a narcissist, though?
It's very similar to what Chris said, without him having no textbook knowledge of that. And that's unfortunate, especially as a developing boy to young man, to have a parent that lacks empathy. Like, seriously? Like, that's terrible.
And I didn't feel emotionally safe at all.
Exactly. That's it.
That's so wonderful. And when you said that you had to silence yourself, I want one thing about narcissists, they cannot use what you don't give them.
Right.
So your silence is actually it's taking
a mechanism.
It's also taking from his taking away from his arsenal.
I learned to be around him without having to be emotionally there. Because every time I gave him my emotional vulnerability, it would just break.
It was just like, you're all over the place, right?
Yeah, it was.
That gave an opportunity.
I'm trying to protect him just because I respect him so much still. But there were moments that I knew that he didn't have the bandwidth to really facilitate the type of conversation I was trying to have. And I was a child knowing that. I was in middle school. And I was like, okay, he really does not have the wherewithal.
He can't give me what I need. He can't show.
And that's when I was like, okay, God,
so
you could be my father because I don't have one that I really need right now. So God, go ahead and do what you need to do in my life because I'm going to be obedient to you right now because only God can fix this situation.
See, that's the delivering power for me.
Because I went to church every Sunday. I had all of the tools. But I was like, okay, God, all right. I had it in my heart, have always.
Yeah.
I wonder if your silence caused him to be more self-aware.
Definitely. And when he saw that I was withdrawing from the environment he thought was safest for me, it definitely made him question, like, wait, what have I done? Because I remember very distinctly, like when I started coming to the truth of like being in Israel and, saying the name of Yahweh and really like getting into the etymology of the spiritual doctrine of Christianity and, Pontius Pilate, Constantine, and just the whole spiritual historiography. I was in middle school. You know what I'm saying? So when I was like, you would have thought I was a Black Panther. I was like, oh no, I'm not. I'm not practicing no slave religion. No, I was just in a space where I was like, if we're not really identifying the spiritual DNA of the Creator, I don't necessarily want to be in that space. If we're afraid, because I talked to my pastor, I was like, "What's the name of God?" He was like, it's just, Jehovah Lord, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, but wait, hold on. The letter J didn't exist until a certain point. So really, what's the name of God?
Chris.
It's so
I was literally in like 9th grade. I was like, wait, this letter didn't even exist. So don't tell me no Jesus.
Wow.
What is the name of God for real? Because you can go back to the Greek text and see IESUS. So that's Jesus is what you understand now. But when you look at the historical evolution of what has this form and shape has this taken over the whole course of our understanding of this religious identity, what was it in the beginning? Let's get understanding.
Yeah.
And when he couldn't give me that confirmation I needed of like, because I started to question everything. I questioned the whole system. I needed to understand, why is it that we as a people have been going back to there must be something in us to feel like we have power in this system. So why is it that we marry ourselves to this routine if it's not really serving us? And so I said, well, I believe, just me understanding as a child in my innocence and my youth, I said, I believe the redemptive power of Christ is greater than any man-made creation. I believe that God has the power to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we could ever ask for a thing. And so how can I understand that relationship for me and what I need him to do in my life? Because I want a relationship with my dad, but I don't have it right now. And so how do I use that and pull down from the invisible to really restore something that I tried myself and I failed? How can I understand the true source of knowledge and wisdom and from the well that never runs dry that I hear about every Sunday? Because I thought I was approaching it from the epistemology of this religion, but there's no understanding from how I'm approaching it as a child. And I don't know if it's because I was a child, they didn't take me seriously, but I felt like I had a good understanding and I understood the historical context. And then once they understood that I wasn't just making things up, I was really looking at, I had a dictionary, an etymology dictionary, where I was really looking at the root of, the different types of love in Greek, in Hebrew, in Aramaic. Like I was a Malcolm X with that Bible for real. But everybody's awareness is different.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like I am just reluctant to say a person's changed because of this or that, right? And I'm also reluctant, not if I don't have proper work, I'm not going to diagnose somebody. But when it comes to parenting, we're talking about Joe and all these, different, the toxic relationships within, our community too. And we just excuse them. Well, that's my mom or that's my dad. At some point for me, I mean, God changes people. That's nice. I don't know what's that other person's feeling, but I do know God changes me. Yeah. And I have to become my own mother. I have to become my own father. I have to become my own parent. And the person who teaches me that is God. Yeah. And through that relationship that you just beautifully explained. So I don't know. I don't, as a therapist, I guess I don't give advice, but honestly, we're looking for other people to one day like confirmation bias, one day change. Yeah. They may not. Yeah. But I can. Yeah. So that's just.
I have different type. I don't know if it's just also lots of thoughts going in my head right now. I don't know if it's because I'm a man now. And like me and my dad, we could talk about things that are more acceptable for men to talk about, or if there's less of because I feel like my dad is different with the girls and he is the boys. Like with the boys, he gives us more of like oh, that's what you're supposed to be doing anyway. Like what I have more honest conversations with my dad now, just because there is less of a sense of responsibility he has tied to my success. When I was young, he felt tied to the outcome of how I turned out. Now it's like, oh, he knows I'm all right. He knows I've always been separated and set apart. And I've had my aunts and uncles tell me, oh, like you've always been different, from your cousins. And I think that's because I know I have always been different from them, not in a way of like trying to be better, just in a way that from a young age, I've always been contemplative, reflective, and very like spiritually discerning of what is in me that needs to come out. And my dad and we just have very honest conversations now that we don't talk about, I know what to talk about my dad with though. You know what I mean? We don't talk about.
But you're still emotionally guarding yourself.
You could say I am.
Yeah.
You could definitely say I am. I just know who I feel emotionally safe about with certain conversations.
So I was just gonna say,
and that's about acceptance, right? So you know what people's limits are.
Yeah,
due to their,
I know where his bandwidth
right?
is.
I know there's certain things I can't tell certain generations because they just don't understand. And it's exhausting to try to convince people, oh, this is what you do and this is how I am. I don't give a crap at the end of the day, especially as I get older.
Yeah.
I am who I am. You are who you are.
Exactly.
Right? And let's not pass judgment at the end of the day.
But I also think it's about limits and boundaries too.
Yeah, that's
right?
true too.
And so while I'm not going to change that, right? I can think about how I want to be in this space and in relationship with the other person.
Right.
Knowing what my limits and boundaries
right.
are.
Yeah.
And making them known, right? Because I'm not going to...
And our response teaches people how to treat us.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you want to be in my life...
I was going to say...
Be empathetic.
Well, here's that...
If you want to be in my life.
Right. So because it's a relationship with your father or someone you're close to, or the relationship means something to you and for you, right? You want to be in a relationship with the person. If we're going to be in relationship and if you're going to be in my life, here's some things that need to happen.
Yeah.
That part.
And if they don't happen, then we can't be in relationship.
Boundaries. And those are healthy boundaries.
Right. So there's a thing, right? So I am curious and I wonder if part of the dynamic that you have with your dad now is because there was something that you changed. And so
I told him I wasn't going to church anymore. So I felt like I withdrew from the system that he used to control me.
Right. So if he wanted to be in relationship with you.
Very aware, y'all.
Right. But
I didn't stand with this for a minute.
If he wanted to be in relationship with you, something had to be different from his part.
Yeah. I was like, you no longer just, because he would be using the sermons against me and stuff. I'm like, no, sir.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Not anymore.
Was it more like when you were in his, like when you lived in his household? Or?
No, this is in middle school, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
I was very aware of just the manipulation. He would do it, not just me, the whole house.
Everybody.
Right.
He would govern his household based off of the message that came off the pulpit.
But as you got older, you were able to make a conscious decision about what that relationship was going to look like, what you wanted, and how you were willing to show up in the relationship.
I'm taking a deep breath, not because of what you're saying is wrong or like irritating me. I'm just thinking about how, like, the release of how I felt, feeling like I had control over myself again. Like I could be stable when I actually govern my own thoughts in my own mind instead of inheriting misbeliefs about myself from others. I was combating that in that age too, just with my peers. Yeah. Because I was different, you know.
That's interesting.
None of my teachers...
I don't know if you're conscious of it. Like he just grounded himself in that moment because he felt triggered and he's learning to self-regulate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's parenting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I've tried to, employ those types of self-soothing strategies in my life because there's a lot of things that make me uncomfortable, but I've learned to be and experience discomfort in a way that most people don't process.
So it's so funny you said that and you called it out loud. I was over here doing that the whole time.
Yeah.
I literally was over here doing it because so much of what you're saying has resonated with me.
Yeah, me
because
too.
I had to make those kind of choices too.
Yeah.
I remember not waking up, but I remember I was at work one day and nothing in particular happened. But I remember thinking about this particular relationship, and I was walking out of work one day. I was walking out the back door of work, and I just remember thinking, this person doesn't get to do this no more. And this was like early 30s, mid 30s. I was like, they don't get to do this no more. And it wasn't anything in particular, but it was just like, it was always there.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, I was always like this hypervigilance that I would have about how I would engage or interact with
still responding from a place of survival.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of being in survival mode.
I'm not doing
They don't get to do this no more. Yeah.
So it became the conversation that I said, okay, I need you to hear what I'm about to say. I don't need you to defend it. I don't need you to say anything.
But this ends today.
I need you to hear from me.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And so if you want to be in relationship with me.
Yeah, you create the conditions of the environment in which you will participate with that.
This is what it's got to be.
Yeah.
It cannot be that ever again.
Yeah. Because you have to love yourself. And it's like, listen, I love me. And if you really love me, you will honor me. Honor's higher than respect.
Oof.
You know?
And can we also go back to that too? Like sometimes people won't hear you and they'll make you feel crazy too.
Gaslighting.
That's the
Yeah.
gaslighting.
Gaslighting.
That's the gaslighting. That's what gaslighting means, where you've decided I'm going to love myself. I'm going to do this. And then people make you feel guilty for choosing yourself.
Because you didn't ask them for permission.
Yeah.
Oh, you change.
Oh, you different.
You different. You think you're better than me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You acting all high and mighty?
All that is gaslighting.
Yeah.
Of course.
Minimization of your feelings.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, I guess I'm high and mighty.
I wonder how many people.
And that's your business.
Yeah. I wonder how many people of our viewers have been in relationships, have been the children of narcissists, right? And for clarity, let's talk about what are the criteria according to the DSM-5. Okay, so here we have, you have to have at least 5 or more of the following. There's about 9 of them. It says grandiose sense of self-importance, preoccupation with fantasies of success, power, beauty, brilliance, or ideal love, belief that they are special and should only associate with high status people, know plenty of those, requires excessive admiration, all about them, right? Sense of entitlement, interpersonally exploitive behavior, lack of empathy, we talked about this, envy of others or belief others envy them. Definitely can talk about those people, those people. Arrogant or haughty behaviors and attitudes. So at least 5 of those. Those are 9. So, and statistically, narcissists are usually the children of other narcissists. Yeah. So I wondered, like,
the intergenerational.
Is your father a child of a narcissist that you know of?
I didn't have a good enough relationship with my grandfather. Everything I've heard about my grandfather is that he worked all the time. That's what they remember him getting, like him getting drunk on the weekends on Friday night and working all the time. He was a blue collar worker.
Wow.
You know, so I don't know, but I've always heard that he was a lovely guy, but like, I don't know enough about him for real.
Yeah.
I have memories of him that were tender and sweet, but like who he was in his heyday, no awareness.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I think there is a conversation that, and I think that's part of, you know, when we think about ancestry, that's kind of what we're searching for too. It's like, who were these people for? Not just their names,
right?
But like what part of them have been passed generationally for me to even have this experience with their descendants, my parents.
And what are those personalities, those characteristics, those qualities of their personalities that have been passed on to me that I don't even know of?
Right.
Awareness.
So
do you have a lot of narcissistic people in your life, or those with narcissistic tendencies? Because it's not always the same thing.
For some reason, I attract them. And it may be because of whatever status they think that I have. Like,
but
things
maybe
that
it's
I don't
just
even
like
think
people
of.
in a certain class are more prone, to be narcissists.
And to be more attracted to me. And
or
I'm
people
like,
of that class.
Right. Where I'm like, what's the big deal? Who cares? But to them, maybe it elevates or heightens who they are.
That's interesting.
And their sense of self-importance. Or they only want to associate with certain people, but then they treat you like shit, even though you have all of this or whatever, but they, behind closed doors, they're treating you like you're worth nothing. You know, and so dealing with clients who have narcissistic partners, they usually are codependent. Right. And that develops.
That's very good. Point.
Right. They go hand in hand and
often borderline too.
It's hard for them to break away from those relationships because the narcissist will love bomb you. And I'm not saying I'm codependent, by the way. However, right. But just based on my experience, they seem to have this toxic trauma bond relationship,
right?
And it's hard to break from.
A narcissist. I don't mean to interrupt you. Please don't forget that thought. But usually, a narcissist person who's diagnosed, usually is attracted to somebody who's borderline, which is a whole
really.
I've seen that
Wow.
tendency. I don't know. Maybe am I
Yeah.
making that up? Maybe
I'd
I'm
love to
making
see
that
I
the
up.
data
feel like
on that.
certain narcissists are also borderline. Like they have very similar qualities. It's like very hot and cold. Like either they love you, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, or you're forever. There's no in between, you know?
Is it possible? Yes, but I see more of the narcissistic personalities attracted to the empaths.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're more attracted to empaths.
Because they like the
Okay.
admiration. You're giving them, oh my God, it's so amazing. Oh, you're a lawyer. Oh, you're a doctor. You're a surgeon. Oh yeah, you like that? Oh yeah. No. No. But do they give that back to you?
Right.
And how long? And if they do, how long does it last?
Yeah.
Until
Well, that's
they,
the whole love bomb.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
yeah, and they don't even know what love is, right? You're more of like you're fueling their need, like you're fueling them once they get over you until they find some other supply, you know. So you're kind of like just temporarily there. So. No, stop, just kidding.
And from an empath, you know, with the trauma that's in, you know, as a child, parenting a parent emotionally and stuff like that, and you learn, you know, your relationship with your parents always, you know, inform how you, you know, handle relationships. And as I'm deciding to be that different person, I realize I am very empathic. I am very sensitive. And still, not being mad at myself for attracting folks who want to take advantage, but also listening to my body, because sometimes I trip up on words because my throat chakra has been stifled because I wanted to keep the peace, right? As an empath. And so I struggle to speak sometimes, especially when I'm nervous. But I would encourage, if you are dealing with someone with narcissistic tendencies or who is a narcissist, see how you feel first. If you don't have the words or you feel confused, whatever relationship a healthy relationship, whatever relationship you're in, and you're looking for something healthy, it should leave you empowered. You shouldn't feel drained. You shouldn't feel like, you're not emotionally safe, to your point, right? And you shouldn't feel crazy because they're making you think that, you know, they're making you doubt yourself. That's not healthy. And I think sometimes we want to be in relationships because of, you know, past bonds of, you know, familiar bonds and
sometimes we want to be in relationships because we should be able to be in relationships with our parents. Our sense of identity, our sense of formation, our sense of belonging begins with our parents.
Absolutely.
So a lot of places we go to for sense of belonging, we don't always find safe spaces.
That's the foundation. And then we seek that in our intimate relationships. We want that secure attachment.
I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way. I'm just saying that sometimes we look for safety and it's not there.
Yeah. No, that's totally in alignment because let's say there is an insecure attachment that, you know, as children we're entitled to, but we don't get that.
Yeah.
But then we seek that in our emotions.
Become anxious. And
then we develop, you know, all these things because we have this fear of abandonment. Will you love me? And that's the codependency because we didn't get that. You know, we learned abuse. We learned you're not good enough. And then we seek that. And then unfortunately, you can have a relationship with someone who is a narcissist who can't fulfill that for you.
Right.
They're not going to give you the attachment needs that you are seeking. So it's just a toxic cycle.
Absolutely.
And it takes therapy sometimes for you to have that awareness on what to do about it and to break it. Exactly. Right.
Yes.
They normalize that.
This pattern.
So hopefully you don't have a narcissistic spouse.
God.
Right.
I rebuke it.
Right. Oh, yeah. And can we talk about ghosting? Many narcissists ghost, right? Because they lack the ability to communicate. Have you experienced that? Deep breath. You see, that's a trauma response. We feel it. I feel the same thing. It's like that rejection. Can we talk about that?
That's the avoidant attachment too.
Exactly.
Right? Because it's easier to not have the conversation.
That's conflict.
In fact, let's take a break.
Dismissive avoidant, right? All right. So in case you're wondering, the clean and chemical-free candles we only carry in our studio, they are from one of our proud sponsors, Modern Origins. When was the last time you truly paused? Not to scroll or plan, but just to breathe. At Modern Origins, they truly believe small rituals can make a big difference for your mind and your spirit. The handcrafted intention candles, bath soaks, and wax melts are made with clean ingredients, essential oils, and crystals designed to help you reconnect, release stress, and create moments of calm in your day. They're absolutely perfect for soaking in the bathtub after a trying day, having a quiet moment in meditation, journaling through a breakthrough, and even while watching our podcast. Modern Origins helps you turn self-care into something sacred. Visit modernoriginsus.com to build your ritual and get 15% off your first order with code CALM15. That's CALM15. modernoriginsus.com, because your healing deserves intention.
Living the life that our ancestors dreamed.
Back to ghosting, though. What bothers you about ghosting? Because, ghosting.
Meanwhile, Twitter is, anyways.
Ghosting.
Let's define what it is.
Yes, please,
right?
because
ghosting is when someone suddenly cuts off communication and disappears like a ghost, right, from a relationship or interaction without any explanation. Has anyone here experienced being ghosted or ghosting someone?
I've been hurt. I've been told that I ghost a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
So is there a fear of communication, of communicating your needs?
It's more like I communicated my needs and you didn't listen to me, so I'm tired and I'm gonna. It's the boundaries.
So now I'm cutting
We
you
were just
off
talking about that
without
earlier.
explanation.
No. I mean, if somebody talks to me, but if I said something and you didn't hear me the first time, I'm not going back to have the same conversation over and over and over again.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So there's no like, okay, you haven't been listening to me, so at this point, I'm gonna stop speaking to you. I'm gonna cut all communication and be well. So that doesn't happen before you ghost.
That happens.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
So that's not truly ghosting. Yeah. So
I'm like,
so you just cut them off without explanation.
So if you're a whole grown person, and we have had these conversations about like what's happening or not happening. So going back to when I said earlier, like there was a conversation that I had that I was like, if you want to be in my life, this is what it has to be.
Right.
Okay.
That's where I'm coming.
Right.
Okay.
And because this isn't working for me, it's fine for you, but it ain't working for me.
I'm gonna love you from afar.
Right?
So healthy boundaries you're putting in place.
Right.
Yeah. So what's the difference?
When someone pushes that, right? I'm not about to go back and tell you what you did. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm done.
So for me, ghosting is like all of a sudden you talking like we chilling, we cool, and then you don't hear from them anymore, and you text them and they put you on red.
So I wouldn't consider
to me that's
ghosting.
weird.
Yeah, but I don't consider what I just said ghosting because I had a conversation with that was a warning.
Okay.
Right, that was like if we want to say the word warning, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I had a conversation.
Okay.
And so in that conversation, you get to choose what you do with that information.
Yeah.
And so if you choose to do otherwise, okay.
So you are communicating. So for this,
even if it's once.
this is something, I can't even say it's trending. This is something that's been going on for a long time. People just cut contact, especially in this dating world. Like you could be chilling and dating somebody one day and you just, swiping apps and stuff. And you just, all of a sudden, you don't hear from them. They go ghost, silent.
Oh, okay.
On mute.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay, that's
insane.
Okay,
that's weird. That's what I call weird.
Okay, yeah. So you've been dating and then stop talking to the person.
Yeah, no contact out of nowhere.
That's different. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
do you have clients that experience or talk about? I get them all the time. So it's very weird. I don't know if it's a generational thing.
Well, I think it's more of a social thing in this age. Like, I mean, when I hear that word, I immediately think of like social media and dating apps.
Yeah.
Most people are in DMs or, you know, forming bonds and attachment through social media platforms. So like if someone doesn't respond and they like completely ghost them, you know, then it's like, okay, well, they're no longer accessible. They're no longer emotionally available. They're no longer, you know, willing to engage whatever intent you had in forming that bond.
Yeah.
So that's what I think of when I hear the word ghosting.
Yeah. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
For me, it's like you're a coward because you can't communicate or you don't know how to communicate what's wrong.
I never thought about it from that perspective.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll be honest.
That's interesting.
That's coward. You're a
think about
coward.
what does it mean about their character.
Yeah.
You don't know how I guess I would if I was emotionally invested.
So I was just gonna say, like, if you're, talking to somebody,
dating somebody, like,
right? So,
how
but
weird
if
is
that
that?
happens, especially if it's early on, I'm like, okay, then,
Right.
all right, then,
it's hurtful.
Yeah,
it's hurtful.
Yeah.
However, I guess I would see it from the perspective of, if they're doing this now, at least I know it now.
Yeah.
Let me go the other way.
Yeah. You definitely could build resilience from it. But at the end of the day, at what point is somebody going to learn to communicate and talk? Use your words.
But it's not your responsibility to teach them how.
Yeah. No, for themselves.
People do what people do. People be people.
For themselves.
You know what I mean?
Right. But for people who do it, at what point are you guys going to learn to talk, to communicate? What's wrong with you? Talk.
But I think one of the things...
Well, you heard what I said?
Huh?
Or what happened to you?
What happened? Right.
It goes back to that sense of control. Like, why must we even dictate the outcome of every interaction we have with another person?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why it's really important to assess if we're even in an environment that's safe. Because regardless if you tell me something I want to hear or not, why is it that you would draw completely instead of engaging with me in a way that honors what we're trying to do?
Yeah.
You could tell me something I don't want to hear or I don't like. But why is it that you choose to ghost me instead of just actually giving me the space to respond and own how it makes me feel?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, to me, ghosting is like, you want to reclaim your power, your authority over your whatever is going on.
Yeah. Trying to regain control.
Yeah. And it's, to me, it's like, either they don't want to be vulnerable with you, so they're not willing to go to that place and say, you know what, for whatever reason, this person's either violated my boundaries, it's made me feel unsafe, so I'm not going to even explain to them why I'm withdrawing, or and it doesn't necessarily need to be, or it could be and it could be, okay, this person, or I'm talking to this person, I thought everything was going great, we was getting along well, and then it just completely cut out.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the
the
ghosting hard part,
Yeah.
right? Especially in dating, in the dating world.
Yeah.
So I wonder when somebody's dating, how can you maybe not avoid ghosting, but create parameters so that the ghosting may not be as frequent? Because it's easy when you're on Bumble and you're talking to somebody, and then after a while you don't hear from the person. It's like, oh, I thought we were doing something, So I think making sure you're safe enough to create a vulnerable space before you put your whole heart into it. Establish if you're safe first.
Yeah.
I think.
And what are the expectations of that environment?
Right.
Like you said, make yourself safe, but like, I don't owe you anything, especially in a dating scene. I'm just getting to know you. What I owe you is integrity in the space.
And emotional maturity, I
don't have to agree with everything you say. We could discover we're actually not in alignment at all. But if I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to date you, I'm out here, I'm searching for my soul partner, at least engage me to the point to where I can discern. And at the point that we understand we're not a fit, I can say,
let's have a conversation about it.
Yeah, let's have a conversation about that.
Versus hiding.
Ways.
What about a conversation over text?
No, that's insensitive.
Should it happen over text?
I mean,
that's insensitive.
Are you ghosting if you're doing it over text?
But like,
well, it's still a form of communication.
How would you want somebody to handle you?
Yeah.
How would you want somebody to handle you?
And
I'm all right. I'm used to people leaving me, so
I don't know. People use that as to emotionally punish
better
people.
Than that.
Yeah.
But I express myself better when I write. So
that's fine. Okay, write it out.
I'm in love with my husband, so I have no problem at this point.
It's still a form of communication, but
what?
I don't know. I feel like certain conversations should happen in
Martine's
person.
A little triggered, but it's
a little triggered.
It's something that we go through, and even in marriage, what I'm saying? Because we always say, in marriage, you should constantly be dating your partner. Y'all should, have that intimacy. I think there are periods of marriage where it's like, okay, are they emotionally withdrawn right now? What's going on, And so you ask yourself, what's shifting or what's happening on their end? Because I'm not really getting the same intimacy we had in the beginning of our relationship. I fell in love with this person. Where are they at right now? Because I feel like we just buddies right now. And we touch base when we can. If we can kick it, cool. If not, great.
Right.
But like, where is that? conversation that leads to where our boundaries are and what we need in order to be not necessarily like, because we don't want them to be like, we want to be the best version of ourselves, but we don't want them to be the reason we are our best.
Right.
But you know, one thing I learned about myself, when I was trying to impress a woman, or when I was or when I had a good person in my life, everything was clean. I took care of myself. I felt like I had a reason to, you know what I'm saying? And I still do, you know what I mean? But I'm naturally a cleaner anyway. But like, I felt more motivated to participate in life. And without having that engagement of like, man, what am I doing it for? Our why. Then if we don't really remember our why, then sometimes we do withdraw, because it's like, okay, we're just going through the motions for ourselves at this point.
And if you don't remember your why, then you'll ghost the person. Right?
Or maybe there was no why. It was just like, I was just going to mess with this person.
That's true too.
Yeah.
The why might be unknown until they give you a reason.
Or maybe there's no why. Like, I'm just trying to see how much chicks I can get. Or guys I can get. I'm going to inflate.
But there is a why there, though.
Or I'm a narcissist and I'm not in tune with my feelings. Oh, I don't know, because I lack empathy.